Hey guys, how's it going? So today, before we start off, I just wanted to go through a couple of things. Just to do with last week's video, which you can see up in the top right corner. Now I'll put a link to it there. I just want to say two things. Firstly, so there were two comments on that video. One was from a guy named Logan Jenkins. I want to thank him a lot, just because, he said, used to be short all through primary school and high school. I was always teased about how short I was. First, I didn't like it much. Then I went with it and ignored it and didn't let it bother anymore. Now I'm taller than all of them. I think you should keep this series going. That's really nice to hear, for me. That was cool. That's really nice to hear. It really lets me know that, people are enjoying it and people can relate to what I'm saying. So thank you very much, Logan. And then the second one, on a bit less of a positive note, but I'm just kind of going to laugh at it because it's really dumb, and it's kind of just proving what I said in the video, and that's from, I don't know, whoever this Russian guy is, and all he says is Jew. He's just putting himself right into that stereotype that I was talking about last week of bullies, who are just so insecure about themselves that they feel the need to try and belittle other people, regardless of whether it's working or not. So, just wanted to get those two things out of the way. But yeah, thanks for clicking here. Now I'm going to starting with the proper part, the part which is going to be have been shown in the thumbnail, and that's talking about parents. Now, obviously, I have parents, and my relationship with them is to say, interesting. Being a gamer, I probably don't spend as much time with them as some other kids do with their parents, and quite a lot of the time that can irritate them a lot. And I see that a lot in the relationship that I have with them, and they get annoyed with me quite a bit. But that's what I'm here to talk about, is the issues that I have going on and that possibly other people have, and just see, whether we can help each other out. So, like I said, I'm a gamer, and so I spend a lot of the time on the computer, and obviously I'm trying to get into the whole YouTube thing and streaming, of course. I'll leave the link to my Twitch channel down below, just in case you want to tune in sometime. And so I'm really trying very hard to kind of get into that whole area where I can start to eventually, and this will take a lot of time and determination, but I want to eventually have it for a job. And now I know that seems like the kind of thing where, a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, typical, gonna try streaming for a couple of weeks, then gonna give up. No, I've been doing it for a good few months already, and it's hard. It is very challenging, but I really want to do it, and so I'm determined. But the problem that my parents have with that is that means that I don't spend as much time with them as I used to. And believe me, they've noticed, and they pointed out a lot. They have gotten better recently. They used to bring it up every chance they'd get. Like, if we were just talking about something, and I was like, oh, I can't be there with you guys. If it was nothing to do with the computer that was causing this, they'd instantly be like, oh yeah, typical you, just going on the computer all the time, don't want to be with your family, don't care about your family. And, that sucks. That used to piss me off a lot. Like, whenever they said something like that, I would instantly go off at them, just because it's so... It's not nice to live in your own home where you just get shit on all the time. So, after a while getting pissed off at them all the time, they learned. They eventually kind of just let go of it, and now they're ignoring it. But, the thing is that I struggled a lot to get there. And I think that persistence is the way to go. If you're having issues with your parents getting, pissed off at you because of your gaming or whatever, I don't know if you still live at home, whatever age you are, That was cool. That guy went flying. You know, I don't know what age you are, but I'm just speaking in general around my age, because I'm, 16, almost 17. If you're still living at home and your parents are having issues with your gaming, persistence and good arguing is the way to go. You know, you want to make sure that they realize that this is something that you enjoy, that you really have a good time with, and come up with all the points you can think of as to why it's a good thing. You know, if they're like, oh, it's antisocial, are you playing multiplayer games? Because if so, and if you're playing with your friends, then you can argue that, you know, you're building relationships with stronger relationships with your friend, and then also you're getting relationship building skills by talking to other people in the game that you don't know yet, but you're going to be friends with them in not too long, you know, if you play with them regularly, that is. So I mean, that's one thing. And then the other thing is kind of I don't want to say moderating your time spent with your parents, but spending enough time with your parents is another thing. Because I mean, you know, a lot of the time my family wants to sit down and, you know, watch something together on the TV, watch something that we, I don't know, all enjoy or something. Firstly, I don't really enjoy watching TV that much. There's not really any inclusion from the people watching. It doesn't really involve the audience the same way that games do. But I mean, in general, you know, if your parents want to, I don't know, if your family wants to go out for, you know, for a walk or whatever, and you don't want to do that, sometimes you've got to, you know, sometimes you've just got to be like, okay, because in the end, doing that sort of thing, and it just seems kind of cold and just calculating the way, like in my head, the way that I'm going to say this, it's kind of like an investment. Like if you spend a bit of time with them, they're going to be a bit more lenient with everything else. You know, it's you take some, you give some. So I mean, every now and then, even if you don't want to, you know, it's better if you do want to, because, you know, then you'll enjoy it more, and probably so will they. They'll enjoy your company more. But even if you don't want to, just go with something that they want to do. You know, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, not sure what else to say along those lines. But I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other points that I should go over, because I mean, I've gone through the whole, you know, persistence, you give some, you lose some. And then I mean, another thing, and this kind of depends on you and what your parents are like, maybe like try and include them a little bit in what you do. Like, you know, I obviously play you know, CS:GO a lot. So I mean, my dad used to jeez, that guy went flying out. My dad used to play Half-Life when it first came out. I actually borrowed it off him and finished the game. I don't think he ever did, but he enjoyed the game. And so I try to talk to him sometimes, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, Counter-Strike is really good, blah blah blah. It uses the same engine as Half-Life. And be like, oh, what's an engine? And that just gets him interested. And then sometimes, even when I'm streaming, you know, he'll come and sit beside me just off the camera, and he'll take a look at what I'm doing. And, you know, ever since I started doing that, I realized that he's become even more lenient, you know, with my gaming or whatever. And I know it won't be the same for everyone. There'll be some people who feel like their parents just aren't the sort of people who could be interested by that thing, and that's understandable. Most parents probably wouldn't be. I'm lucky to have parents that are. I can't even walk up those logs there. But I mean, you got to take everything you can get. And I mean, if something else is working for you, oh jeez, that was an interesting double kill. If something's working for you, keep doing it. Keep going at it. I mean, the longer it's going back to that persistence thing again. The longer you spend working on it and trying to make your parents understand, and trying to get some leeway, the more you will get. Your parents will eventually be like, oh, okay, you know, I'll give you a bit more understanding. And I feel like I'm just going on a ramble about advice here, but I mean, you know, I'm still working on it. I'm not all of a sudden just allows to do anything I want, but it's getting better. Alright? And I mean, in the end, that's what it comes down to, is a lot of persistence and, you know, making sure that you're not just taking everything, you're giving them something back and showing them that, you know, even if they do let you have free reins on whatever you want to do, you're not just gonna... Jeez, another one in that hallway. Loving that hallway. You're not just gonna go crazy and just never see them again. You gotta show them that you can be with them by choice and not necessarily by them kind of making you be there. So I mean, that's all I have to say on this matter. If you want to, I don't know, if you want to kind of add something else, you know, give me advice maybe, or give other people advice, you can do so in the comments. I really liked, you know, last week how I got a very nice comment there from Logan Jenkins, as I showed before. But yeah, thank you very much for coming in, and that was weird, coming in. Thank you very much for joining me, I guess. And I'll see you guys next time on Time to Talk. See you guys later.